the most compelling reason to do so.
Do people know you mostly from Lost, or do they know you from other things now?
More Taken now. I see.
More Taken?
Of course, I have dark hair too, so when I change my hair color, the airport interactions change.
I always say it's MaggieGrace from Lost, so other people are saying it's MaggieGrace from Taken.
Yeah.
How did you like having the short black hair?
Well, that was fun. I don't know that I'd get my next haircut from Guy. But
Did he actually cut your hair?
He might have sliced. We had a wig, obviously, because with the schedule going back and forth between hairstyles. We might have got a few slices in there.
There was some. Sorry, go ahead.
I was curious that are there any background story of your character, because it seems like all of a sudden go to space. But I was wondering that because it doesn't. I feel that it doesn't develop much your character and Guy character in order for you to decide not to go back in Earth in the first place. So I was curious that are there more background story before getting to the space? You guys talk about it, like with Luc Besson?
Yeah, and the directors Stephen and James had developed the material for a while, so they did have an idea of kind of the lives that the characters came from.
Is there any element that I cut it off, or it's totally stick to the script on that one?
Sorry.
Is there any background story that's totally cut off on the beginning before you get into the space?
In
terms of your character's development?
No,
Right.
no,
Okay.
they weren't.
Okay, sure.
You mentioned being kind of a Jane Austen girl.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things you've been in is Jane Austen. And
It's my favorite.
favorite.
Most people that saw it loved it.
But when you do something like that, that's quieter and more, introspective, and then you do something like this, which is only somewhat introspective, which is more of a challenge for you. I mean, I love
I
the
cried
comedy
after
between
gym class in middle school, so I would say, action movies provide challenges. But they are a lot of fun to make.
I was going to ask, is doing the action freeing?
It is. I think it's been really funny, I've been learning that you kind of don't really develop in a linear way. I mean, that you can become more vulnerable in your relationships and it relates to your work or vice versa, and certainly it's been fun for action movies unless I think I'm around now. It's crazy. It's fun to do gun training in an outdoor range and maybe horseback training and combat training and the work on the wires in this one. It really does kind of inform who you are as a person and really feels empowering. So I just wish that I could do a really hardcore action movie every time I had a hard breakup. It would be wonderful.
I don't want to grab up if it's time.
Not me.
Well, do you have, now, as we were talking about you being a veteran, is there a shorthand for you? Is it just easier for you to understand what they need and what they want and work with that stunt team in that way? I mean, you didn't have a whole lot to do in Taken. I'm hoping that in Taken 2 you have a little more.
A little more. Oh, okay.
But is that, in terms of, in this film, you're hoisting the gun, you're, looking all threatening. Is it easier for you having worked with those guys before in terms of like the communication?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, it's a lot of the same folks. And that's really lovely.
But do you feel safe like doing that kind of stuff? Because, stuff guys doing is just nuts.
Yeah.
And there you are running about, and you mentioned you weren't particularly graceful.
Graceful, yes. Maggie Graceless. No, I've definitely felt safe, and there's a sense of community and a great stunt team. So I'm always kind of asking for extra lessons on the side, just in case that more kick-ass kind of action heroine comes along, I'll be prepared.
Is there some difficulty, sort of, like needing to forget or pretend like you know less about sort of fighting or something from one film to another? Like I noticed that you knew how to handle a gun really well for that one scene where he gets you a gun and then like you're holding it perfectly.
The movie a couple years ago, yeah.
That seems kind of weird. Do you ever think, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't know how to hold the gun? I'm the president's daughter, or?
Well, that was also part of the joke. He says, "I thought you were a Democrat."
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I think that was kind of part of the ongoing, that she is surprising in many ways.
Have
So
you
that was
seen it?
definitely a conscious choice.
Have you ever seen a John Wayne movie?
Yes, I am.
Are you a fan?
I am, and I think there's the sense of that reluctant hero in Snow.
Well, speaking of reluctant heroes, what,
It's not overly earnest.
He's not a reluctant hero. Why is John Wayne a reluctant hero?
your original version.
Sometimes.
But you mentioned that there's a lot of homages and a lot of references in Lockout. What references to action films did you have, perhaps in your research and this,
Well, I
creating
think
this?
Die Hard comes up a lot. You know, that contains space and kind of dry, you know, gravitas in its hero. I'm trying to think. A lot of people have mentioned Lethal Weapon. You know, anytime you make an action movie.
What is the one thing you want people who see this movie to take away from it?
You know, if I'm going to be really honest, I think if you're looking for a message film, look elsewhere. It's really unabashedly a good time. It's quite unapologetic about that. It's a fun romp. It's a popcorn in the air movie, and it's funny, and that's what I was excited about when I read it. Is yes, it's a sci-fi action thriller, which is quite a mouthful, but it's funny.
We have time for one more question.
You're about the only female after the one character is killed, so what was it like being the one female around?
Well, luckily we had a pretty badass woman producer named Layla Smith,
That's nice.
so we could hang. She was amazing, and quite a few Serbian ladies on set, which was part of the crew too. But yeah, it was largely a male environment, which I would say a good portion of my life has
But it was fun.
become